All right, let's jump right in. I want to kick things off with a pretty bold idea. Every single role in your company, and I mean every role from the intern to the CEO, needs a detailed task list. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds like micromanagement, right? But just stick with me here, because we're going to break down why this simple, often overlooked tool is actually the secret to building a truly high-performing team.
In fact, here's a little test you can run, maybe tomorrow morning. Just walk up to anyone on your team and ask them one simple question. Hey, what are you responsible for?
And then just listen. Seriously. The answers you get will tell you everything you need to know. Some people will fire off a confident list, but others, you're going to get a pause. A little bit of a hesitation. Maybe a, well, it depends. That hesitation, that's the sound of ambiguity. And that ambiguity, believe me, is costing you a fortune and lost productivity and frustration.
And that brings us to our first big point, the incredibly high cost of being vague. See, when a team is built on assumptions, it's like building a house on sand. Sooner or later, things are going to start to crumble.
So let's reframe what a task list really is. We need to stop thinking of it as some boring to-do list. Instead, think of it as a bridge. It's the bridge that connects a big, abstract idea like responsibility to the actual, real-world work of execution. It's not a leash, it's a map.
Let's be honest, most job descriptions are way too abstract. They say things like oversee projects or drive growth. Okay, but how? Success happens in the small, repeatable actions. A task list makes the job real. It breaks those big ideas down into concrete things you can actually do. And it totally gets rid of that classic excuse, oh, I didn't know that was my job.
And check this out. This is a perfect example. For a sales executive, we're not telling them what to say in the follow-up email. That's their skill. But we are defining the non-negotiable. The email gets sent within 2 days. See the difference? This isn't micromanagement. It's just clear, agreed-upon structure. It's clarity in action.
So, once you have that clarity, what happens next? Well, you've just built a direct bridge from the idea of a role to actual execution and, just as importantly, to real ownership.
This creates this massive psychological shift on the team. When things are vague, people get defensive. It's just human nature. But when you have a clear list, all that guesswork disappears, and you finally put an end to the most destructive sentence in any business. I thought someone else was doing it.
And this is the magic moment. The entire conversation on your team starts to change. People stop feeling paralyzed, asking, what should I be working on? And they start thinking on a higher level, asking, okay, I know what to do. Now, how can I do it better, faster, smarter? That is a total game changer.
Come on, be honest. If you're a leader, you've said this. We've all said this. You're swamped. It's easier to just do it yourself than to take the time to explain it. But we have to recognize that for what it is. That's not leadership. You're turning yourself into the bottleneck, the one person everything has to flow through.
A task list is the cure for this. It's the ultimate delegation tool, because now you can look at a list and know exactly what can be handed off. You can transfer that task with total confidence because the process is right there in black and white. This is how you make the leap from being the chief doer to being a true builder of doers.
Okay, so we've seen how this changes things for individuals, but what happens when everyone on the team has this level of clarity? Well, that's when things get really interesting. You start to build powerful, unstoppable systems.
I mean, the difference is just night and day. Look at this. The team without lists is always reacting, always reinventing the wheel, running on memory. It's just organized chaos. But the team with lists, they're proactive. They have documented systems. They're built to improve. And here's the big secret. All those fancy words we use, like SOPs and workflows and operational excellence, it all boils down to this. A system is really just a task list that you've made repeatable, visible to everyone, and that you hold people accountable to. That's it.
Now, I can already hear the objection from senior leaders. My job's too creative, too strategic for a list. But that's just not true. Actually, the higher up you go, the more critical a task list becomes. Look at this CEO example. The list isn't about busy work, it's about protecting time for the most important, high-leverage activities that only the CEO can do.
All right, enough of the why. Let's get really practical and talk about the how. I'm going to give you a super simple way to build your very first list, and you can literally start on this the minute this explainer is over. Seriously, don't overthink it. Just grab a piece of paper or open a doc and make 4 buckets. What's the daily rhythm of your job? What's the weekly pulse? What are those bigger, recurring things you do every month or quarter? And finally, What tasks only happen when something specific triggers them? Just mapping it out like this gives you incredible insight.
So as we bring this all home, I want to leave you with one core idea. This is the central thesis of everything we've talked about. If you remember one thing, make it this. That's it. That is the whole ballgame. You can survive on chaos for a little while, maybe even get some stuff done. But you can never, ever scale chaos. The only thing that truly scales in a business is clarity. And this is the domino effect that makes it all possible. It's a simple, logical chain. Clear roles lead to known tasks. Known tasks lead to reliable execution. And only when you have reliable execution can you even begin to think about building a scalable organization. It all starts with the humble task list.
Which leads me to my final question, and this one's for you. After all of this, what's the very first task that you're going to write down on your own list?